While a handful of college football teams have played a notable game, the schedule truly starts to intensify in week 4. Most notably, the slate includes 4 top 25 matchups with several important debuts. USC's first Big Ten game is at Michigan. Utah opens Big 12 action at Oklahoma State. And SEC newcomer Oklahoma hosts Tennessee. Plenty of other programs are kicking off conference play, and these results will begin to heavily impact the team's upside. The race toward the college football playoff is picking up speed. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting perhaps the presence of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. 18 games on the docket this week. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right on in. We have one Friday game and 17 Saturday games. And we are going to start with that Friday night game, a game that will take place tomorrow night at 8 p.m. over on Fox. And it will feature the now number 22 Nebraska Cornhuskers. They are once again at home at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they are going to be hosting. How about this? Another surprise entrant into the top 25. Welcome at number 24, the Fighting Illini of Illinois. In a sleeper matchup here, it's in my opinion the number 4 game of the week on the docket. And on the call for this game, Tim Brando and Devin Gardner, they will have the call. And Nebraska opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. Illinois and Nebraska on defense have yielded only 26 and 20 points respectively in early wins. This matchup looks like it could be a low-scoring slugfest, so you could probably convince me either way. But I believe Nebraska's home field advantage helps decide a tight one. I am going to go with Nebraska to win this game. My final score, I'm going to go 23-20. Nebraska holds off a very game Illinois team. So 23-20, Nebraska wins. MF, Nebraska at number 22, Illinois at number 24. Tomorrow night on Fox. Nice way to start off week number 4 of this 2024 college football season with a sleeper matchup in our number 4 game of the week.
Not only that, but if you also notice, this is the first Friday night game on Fox since SmackDown Live has left. This is going to be a very crucial moment for them to really establish themselves on the Friday night docket, that they can really start to do stuff with life outside of WWE. Now, this is a good game. I believe that this is going to be a tough matchup, like you said, hard fought, and somewhat of a defensive battle. I like this kind of game. Like you said, both teams been averaging about 20, 25 points per game. Defensively, that's really good. That means we might get ourselves a little low-scoring affair. But I think it's going to be close. Like you said, I'm with you on that one. My score is a little different, though. 28-24, Nebraska wins. I got Nebraska winning, like you. Let's move on to the Saturday slate.
This is gonna sound very weird when I say this. We only have 2, count them, 12 noon games. Can you believe that? 2. Only 2 12 noon games.
Traditionally, we would have at least 4 or 5 on the noon window. Traditionally.
Wait till 3:30. Wait till 3:30. That's all I'm going to say. Wait till we get to the 3:30 slate.
Okay.
So we only have 2 in the 12 noon window. One, a zonk game, a clunker of a game. The other, maybe could be good. But we have to get the clunker out of the way first. So, 3:30 slate. 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 3:30 And I feel bad for Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, as well as the All-American girl Jenny Taft, because they got a clunker for Big Noon Saturday on Fox. Usually they get a marquee matchup. Not this time. As we kick off the Saturday slate, the first of our two 12 noon games, with the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes at home in the horseshoe of Ohio Stadium in Columbus, and they're going to be welcoming the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Big Noon Saturday on Fox, and you know who that is, as always, like I just mentioned, Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft. Ohio State opening up as a 40-point favorite.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder who wins this one, MF.
Yeah, no, this is a comfortable one. It is Ohio State. There's no doubt about it. But if you really think about it, I get why they scheduled Marshall, because way back when, the Thundering Herd of Marshall was a real dangerous team. If you remember, Anthony, there was some years where Marshall was really good. When Byron Leftwich was the quarterback, yes. They were not really nationally ranked, but they were well known. We knew about the Thundering Herd. We knew about Marshall for a number of years. They kind of fell back, kind of fell into this relative obscurity. So we hear Marshall like in flashes, not like what it used to be when, like, especially in the 90s, when Marshall was like one of those underrated mid-major teams that you always had to keep your eyes on. Them and Boise State used to be those teams that every Saturday you had to keep your eyes on them, because there was something good when these guys got going. Like, you always heard Marshall's name getting thrown around as, you might not want to take this team lightly. Don't take them lightly. Don't take them anything. But those times are long gone. That's from way back in the past. Ohio State should win this game, and win this game pretty comfortably. Florio, it's yours.
2 weeks ago, Marshall put up a respectable fight in a road loss to Virginia Tech. However, it's tough to see a passing attack that labored to 3.6 yards a throw suddenly carving Ohio State's elite defense. Easy win for Ohio State. 52-10. I got Ohio State all over Marshall. So, move on to our other 12 noon game. The better of the two noon games, honestly. The number 21 Clemson Tigers at home at Memorial Stadium in Death Valley. And they're going to be welcoming the North Carolina State Wolfpack. You can find this game over on ABC. And on the call for that one will be Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. Clemson opening up as a 19.5-point favorite. And rightfully so, because of the fact that, well, now here's the thing. Clemson lost at NC State last year, but revenge may be in order on Saturday. Not only has NC State endured a slow start, but their quarterback, Grayson McCall, will be sidelined for this game. And I believe Clemson will kick off conference play with a much-needed win. So I am going to go with Clemson to win this game. My final score, 28-16. Clemson over NC State. This is the number 5 game of the week as far as I'm concerned. So not much more to say here. MF, NC State and Clemson, definitely the better of the two, but I don't know if it's going to be any good.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson as well. I think Clemson should win this game. A little bit competitive, but nothing more to say. So, Florio, is yours.
All right. A rare 2 o'clock kickoff here. Yeah, we have a 2 o'clock kickoff up next. And it features the number 20, the now number 20 Iowa State Cyclones. And they are going to be squaring off against the very team that MF's Michigan Wolverines went up against last week, the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. And you can find this game over on ESPN Plus. And on the call for this game will be I do have it in here somewhere. Yes, it'll be Richard Cross and Taylor McHargue. They will have the call of this game. And Iowa State opening up as a 21.5-point favorite. So MF, Iowa State in the AP at number 20, going up against Arkansas State. You know this team very well. They gave your boys fits and then some last week.
Well, I don't want to say they gave us fits. They did score a couple of touchdowns in garbage time, but the game was kind of relatively, out of hand and, whatever you want to
Yeah,
say. But yeah, at the end of the day, they could definitely play really well. It's just how are they going to look? But at the end of the day, yeah, I say Iowa State wins. So Florio, it's yours.
agreed. Don't be too quick to call for a blowout. I'm not saying there is immense upset potential, but Iowa State is similar to Michigan in being a defense-driven team with inefficiency issues that flare on offense. I will say this will be a comfortable, not quite lopsided win for Iowa State. Iowa State wins this one. My final score 34-17. Iowa State over Arkansas State. Now then, MF, remember when I said that to keep an eye on the 3:30 slate? Well,
Yeah.
we got 6 of them. We got 6 3:30 games to
Normally,
address.
you know what? That evens it out because remember how we were saying that normally we always get like at least 4 or 5 at the noon window. Well,
Yes.
they just dumped it. They just dumped it on the 3:30. They overloaded the 3:30 on us. Thanks.
Hey, but one of them happens to be our game of the week. Oh, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
We're going to get into that in just a moment. Not just yet. There's one other game that we need to get out of the way first before we get to our game of the week. And that is the number 10 Penn State Nittany Lions at home at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. And they're going to be welcoming the Golden Flashes of Kent State. You can find this game over on the Big Ten Network. And I believe, if I remember correctly, yep, I was right. Yep, it will be Jeff Levering and Jake Butt on the call. Penn State is the biggest favorite of the week. Let me just double check my spreadsheet. Yes, Penn State's the biggest favorite of the week. They're opening up as a 48.5-point favorite. 48.5 for Penn State. And why is that? Well, I know there were a lot of people out there that requested the football gods to have mercy on Kent State last weekend because Kent State had to go to Tennessee. And they got absolutely positively smashed by Tennessee. 71-0. 71-0 at Neyland Stadium. And now you got to go to Beaver Stadium against Penn State. Easy win for Penn State. I don't think it's going to be 71-0 bad, but it'll be just as bad. 56-10. I got Penn State all over Kent State. So, MF, may the gods have mercy on Kent State. 71-0 beatdown against Tennessee, and now you got to go to Penn State?
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier for them. But whenever you go up against the big boys, this is unfortunately you get those kind of games. You try to navigate it the best way you can. This is great learning experience for these young kids. But yeah, this is when you go up against the best of the best, the expectation is a little different. So I got you on that one. I think Penn State wins comfortably. Florio, it's yours.
All right, MF, here we go. This is the one we've been waiting for, and I know you've been waiting for. It's the first of our 3 big main events. And I would say, honestly, because of legacy alone, you can make an argument that this is the game of the week right here.
Yeah.
These two teams have. I'll get to the fun fact in just a moment, but Here we go. The number 11 USC Trojans on the road against the now number 18 reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champions, the Michigan Wolverines, from the Big House, Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. And it's the Big Ten on CBS. This game is going to be on CBS. Ho, ho, ho. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, they will be on the call for it. USC opening up as a 6-point favorite. And MF, we talked about, you remember, I said at the end of last night's show that I was going to look into this. And I did, and shortly after the show went off the air, I actually went in, did my research, and I can now report this. USC and Michigan met in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, 8 times. 8 times. I just have to total up the wins and the losses, but I can confirm that these two teams played in your favorite bowl game 8 times. The most recent, I believe, was in 2007, I believe. So, but MF, number 11 USC, number 18 Michigan. Maybe not the game of the week record-wise, but in terms of legacy, blue bloods, which these two teams are, two teams that have won numerous national championships, including Michigan last year. Of course, they have produced so many NFL legends and Hall of Famers, Heisman Trophy winners, you name it. And I know this is a game that I know you're going to hold near and dear to your heart because of those 8 times they met in the Rose Bowl. And USC and Michigan, what does that mean to you?
I mean, like I said, New Year's Day, Pasadena, on at that 5:00 window is when these two go at it. And that was the moment where you knew you were about to witness history. It was about to get real. SC and Michigan is just, what is there to say? It doesn't get any better than this. It's one of the greatest rivalries in college sports. And to say that we're now being blessed with this battle, I mean, my God. I mean, how blessed are we to get this battle? Yes. So at the end of the day, it's a close game. At the very end of it, it's very close how this is going to go. Yes, SC is the favorite, and I will admit that, because of the fact that Michigan, you don't know what kind of offense you're going to get. I don't know. Even though I've been, and you know, Anthony, I've been pounding the table lately for Alex Orji to be the guy, and now he is the guy. He got the start. Now let's see what we got. All hands on deck. However, because of this battle and because of the magnitude, I think SC is going to win it, because they're going to want to come in and make a statement. This is their first ever Big Ten game they've ever going to play as a member of the Big Ten family. So the expectations is really high for USC to really make a good first impression. And Michigan is the original blue blood of the Big Ten. Them and Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, that is like the Mount Rushmore of the Big Ten. You knock off one of these boys, you really open the eyes of everybody out there. I think USC is the better team. That's why I think SC wins it. Even though I want Michigan to win it, but I gotta put my commentator hat on. I gotta put my broadcaster hat on. And loyalty goes out the window when it comes to this. USC beats Michigan. Florio, it's yours.
And according to my and I looked at the Rose Bowl, I added up the wins and the losses. 6-2 in favor of USC.
Yeah.
So there's some more evidence to back it up. 6-2, a 6-2 edge in the Rose Bowl, in those 8 Rose Bowls. USC won 6, Michigan only won 2. So yeah. So all right, you mentioned Alex Orji, MF. Michigan is turning to Alex Orji at quarterback in hopes of sparking a quiet passing attack. Those offensive woes are a major problem. I cannot quit the Wolverines because of their defensive upside, but USC should win if Michigan struggles to run the ball effectively. I got USC winning this game as well. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. I got USC winning it. My final score, 28-21. USC defeats Michigan. Okay. Next up, we have the now number 16 LSU Tigers at home at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, and they're going to be welcoming the UCLA Bruins. Ooh, it's another nice little sleeper matchup there. And on the call for this game, the voice of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Joe Tessitore, alongside of Jesse Palmer and Katie George, and LSU opening up as a 23.5-point favorite. So with that being said, not exactly a convincing start for UCLA, which barely won in Hawaii and then lost by 29 points at home against Indiana on Big Ten Saturday night on NBC last week. LSU is still looking for its first complete game, but deserves to be a heavy favorite here. I have LSU winning this game. My final score, 36-20. LSU defeats UCLA. So not much more to say on that. So MF, number 16, LSU, back at home at Tiger Stadium, welcoming UCLA. Your thoughts?
I got to go with LSU as well. I feel like they're going to be the better team overall. It's going to be an interesting game, but I'll go with LSU. Florio, what's yours?
All right. Next up, we move on to the now number 17 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, back at home at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend for the first time since the most embarrassing and demoralizing home loss in school history when they got upset by Northern Illinois, who we'll get into in a little bit. They're going to be welcoming the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Of course, if it's at Notre Dame Stadium, you know it's going to be on NBC. And on that call will be Dan Hicks, Jason Garrett, and Zora Stevenson. Notre Dame opening up as a 28-point favorite. MF, I don't know what else there is to say. A week ago, we talked about it. Notre Dame getting embarrassed at home by Northern Illinois. The most embarrassing home loss and not just embarrassing, but the most demoralizing home loss in school history, losing to Northern Illinois, a team they were favored to smash.
Yep.
But they took them way too lightly, got big for their britches, and
deserved to lose that game.
Absolutely deserved to lose that game. But then a week ago on this program, we said that when going into that game against Purdue, that game was a must win. I'm almost certain they heard every word they not only heard our every word, but they hung on every word they said. And they went into Purdue, kicked the door down, made themselves at home, and absolutely positively smashed the Boilermakers into a damn near oblivion. Wow.
Yeah.
67. Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think they pretty much heard everybody, all the naysayers, and they probably heard how everybody was saying that the season was over for Notre Dame. And they were like, you know what? Bleep you. This is not over yet. And I'll bet you anything. Marcus Freeman, who is the head coach of Notre Dame, probably heard everybody, heard how this was embarrassing to Notre Dame, how this was an embarrassing loss to them, how they paid $1.4 million to have Northern Illinois come to this to play them, the whole 9 yards, and how they humiliated themselves, humiliated the tradition of Notre Dame, how the players don't deserve to wear the golden helmet of that team, and all this other hugabaloo. He probably put that as bulletin board material and said, this is what these people are telling you right now. This is what the boosters, the alumni, and everybody thinks about you right now. And I'm going to tell you, if he used any of the content from any of us, from myself, from you, Anthony, from Michael Bullock, from any content creators who are either pro Notre Dame or anti Notre Dame, he probably used every little detail, every little thing from the ESPNs to the NBCs to the CBSs to any network that was talking about Notre Dame's loss. He probably used it in a collage and showed that to the players. And let me tell you, they went through the wall on that one, because what we saw is what should have happened against Northern Illinois.
Agreed.
That was the team we were hoping to see against Northern Illinois that took it out on Purdue. Message sent, message received. Now you're going back home to the very same place that you got upset in.
You're on mute.
Yeah, just give me a minute, Floyo. Just go.
Okay. Yeah, like MF mentioned, I mean, Notre Dame will be at home. They're back at home for the first time since that demoralizing loss to Northern Illinois 2 weeks ago. And all they really have to do is they have to follow the same exact blueprint they followed against Purdue last week. And don't take this team lightly. You know, I know I would be excited after a smash job like that. But at the end of the day, you know, we still have a job to do. And Notre Dame learned its lesson about Maction. The dominant effort at Purdue was a great response after such a disappointing loss. So the concern level around the Fighting Irish should not be terribly high. I have Notre Dame winning this game, of course. And I think that I don't think it's going to be as bad as what they did to Purdue, but I do believe that they should win comfortably against Miami of Ohio and do what they should have done to Northern Illinois 2 weeks ago. I think Notre Dame should win this one convincingly. I believe they will do so. My final score will be 45-10, Notre Dame all over Miami of Ohio. And the thing is, it was the running game. They had over 300 yards rushing as a team. And I also think that Riley Leonard far and away played his best game as quarterback of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish after 2 subpar games against A&M and Northern Illinois. So 45-10, Notre Dame all over Miami of Ohio. And I'm sure that's where MF was leaning towards. I'm sure MF's got Notre Dame winning this one convincingly as well. So with that, let me set up the next 3:30 game. Another good one in the ACC. The number 19 Louisville Cardinals once again at home at L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium in Louisville. And they're going to be welcoming one of the darlings of this young college football season so far, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And this game will be over on ESPN2. And on the call for this game will be Mike Monaco and Kirk Morrison. Louisville. Louisville opening up as a 10.5-point favorite. Florida State has plummeted from the ACC radar. partially thanks to Georgia Tech. So this is an especially valuable game for both programs. Louisville's early explosiveness makes me lean the Cardinals' way, although Georgia Tech's offense is good enough to keep this one close, and I believe they will. But at the end of the day, I got to go with Louisville to win this game. Louisville wins. My final score, 33-28. Louisville holds off a very game Georgia Tech team. So not much more to say. MF, I'm sure you had Notre Dame over Miami of Ohio, I'm sure, right?
Yes, I was going to do that, yeah.
Okay. So with that, we move on to the next one. Number 19, Louisville at home against Georgia Tech. Sleeper game in the ACC here.
Sleeper game at the ACC, but I heard you saying that you were going to go with Louisville, which I totally agree with. I really got nothing more to say, so Florio, it's yours.
All right. And I believe we're at our final 3:30 game. And it features the new darling of college football after their monumental win 2 weeks ago. The now number 23 Northern Illinois Huskies. And they're going to be welcoming the Buffalo Bulls to their home stadium, which is Brigham Field at Husky Stadium. And you can find this game over on ESPN Plus, and see if I can find the announcer. Yes, it'll be Jason Ross Jr. and Matt Millen on the call for this one. And Northern Illinois opening up as a 13.5-point favorite. MF, can Northern Illinois keep up the momentum from that monumental win 2 weeks ago?
I hope so. And I really think that they could. I just don't know. I kind of feel like this is going to be an up and down type of a game. I got Northern Illinois winning, but I don't think it's going to be as we'll see how this plays out. This is going to be very interesting to watch, but Northern Illinois should win it. So, Florio, it's yours.
Though the Huskies joined the AP Top 25 last week, Saturday is the program's first game as a ranked team since 2013. Remarkable accomplishment for Northern Illinois after the biggest upset and their biggest win in school history after they went into Notre Dame Stadium and stole it from Notre Dame 2 weeks ago. As long as a talented defense keeps playing well, the Huskies will be tough to beat. Close game going into the fourth quarter, but I think Northern Illinois will get a late score to put it away. Northern Illinois wins this one. My final score, 27-17, Northern Illinois over Buffalo. And now we move on to a 4 o'clock kickoff. And this is another one and this is the second of our 3 big main events this week. Huge game in the Big 12. The number 12 Utah Utes on the road against the number 14 Oklahoma State Cowboys, Boone Pickens Stadium, Stillwater, Oklahoma. This will be on Fox. Jason Benetti, Brock Heward, Allison Williams on the call, and Oklahoma State with the lowest spread of the week. Lowest spread of the week for Oklahoma State. They're only opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. The spread's only 2.5 for OK State. So let's break down the second of our 3 big main events. I just want to check one quick thing on this game. And from what I know, the plan is, and the expectation is, Utah quarterback Cam Rising will play. If he does, you got to give the slight edge to Utah. But if he doesn't, then you got to flip the pick to OK State. The challenge with Oklahoma State so far is a veteran offensive line and All-American running back Ollie Gordon II have produced just 3.5 yards per carry together. Should we project a change opposite Utah's stout defense? I don't know, but I think I'm just gonna say it. I think Cam Rising is gonna play from the sheets I've been reading. It looks like the plan is for him to go, and if he does go, I gotta tilt it slightly to Utah. So I think Utah will steal one here. 27-23. I have Utah holding off Oklahoma State, but that's only if Cam Rising goes. If he doesn't, then it's OK State's game. But for right now, I'm going Utah 27-23. So MF, the second of our three big main events, Utah, Oklahoma State, huge early Big 12 matchup.
Yeah, huge early Big 12 matchup, no doubt about it. I'm gonna go with Utah as well. I kind of feel like they're gonna be the better team, but we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, I got Utah winning, and really nothing more to say. So Florio, it is yours.
Okay, we move on. A rare 4:15 kickoff. We have a 4:15 kickoff here, and it features the number 7 Missouri Tigers once again at home at Memorial Stadium / Forat Field in Columbia, Missouri. And they're going to be welcoming the Vanderbilt Commodores to Missouri. And you can find this game over on the SEC network. And on the call for that game will be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang. And Mizzou, opening up as a 20.5-point favorite. So MF, Missouri, number 7, they got a bit of a test from Boston College, but they ultimately pulled away and won it. Now they got Vandy coming to town. Can Mizzou keep up the momentum?
Yeah, I think Mizzou will keep up the talent, keep up the work and everything else. I got Missouri winning this pretty comfortably. So yeah, I really had nothing more to say. Anthony, it is yours.
After notching a quality win over Boston College, Missouri needs to avoid a letdown in its SEC opener. Fortunately for the Tigers, that danger looks pretty low. Vanderbilt pulled off a surprise with an upset of Virginia Tech in week 1, but they just lost at Georgia State. Oof. No. I got Missouri winning. My final score, 37-20. Missouri defeats Vanderbilt. And now we're moving into the primetime games now. We got 6 games left, and we move on to a 7 o'clock kickoff. And it will feature, look who's back in the top 10 for the first time in a long time. The U, the Miami, Florida Hurricanes. The U. And they're going on the road to take on the South Florida Bulls. Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. You can find this game over on ESPN. It's part of the SEC Saturday night game on ESPN. And it'll be Bob Wischusen, Lewis Riddick, and Chris Budden on the call. And Miami, the U, opening up as a 17-point favorite. South Florida gave Alabama a difficult game, so Miami should not be overlooking the Bulls. Ultimately, however, talent prevailed in Tuscaloosa. That story will probably happen again on Saturday, especially since Miami quarterback Cam Ward has looked unstoppable so far. He's an early front runner for Heisman, as far as I'm concerned. Miami wins. My final score, 41-24. Miami over South Florida. So not much more to say. MF, the U, back in the top 10. When was the last time they were in the top 10? It's been a minute.
It's been a while since probably when Ken Dorsey was the starting quarterback and when Miami ended up winning the national championship that year, I think was the last time. That was when I think Larry Coker was the head coach of the Hurricanes.
Sounds right.
I think it was,
Sounds right to me, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was right around the time when Larry Coker, Ken Dorsey,
I thought it might have been 2000. I thought it was 2017 after that infamous Under Siege game against Notre Dame when they smashed Notre Dame. Or I could be wrong on that, but
well, I mean, for like at this point, yeah, if you're talking about top 10, yeah, that was the Under Siege game when the turnover chain, when that came out.
Yeah, I remember that one.
With the turnover chain and everything else, you know, where everybody jumped on the bandwagon until, and then everybody bounced off when they got smashed by Clemson, if you remember. I want to say this looking Miami Hurricanes, look, Mario Cristobal. It took time, It took patience. And if you're a Miami fan, I know you guys were waiting for the moment where everything was going to come together. It's coming together. They're looking like that team from back in those years, like Anthony said, the year of the Under Siege crew. All of a sudden, they got their swagger back. They got a look, and now they got a guy that looks like maybe I could say probably one of the. I'm not gonna call front runner, but he might, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he might get a call saying, "Come to New York. You've been invited to be one of the finalists for the Heisman Trophy." I say the U wins. Miami wins. Anthony, it's yours.
Okay, I'm just doing a one last quick check here. Okay. All right. So with that, we move on. We have two 7:30 kickoffs to address, but one of them happens to be, I would say maybe by record wise, this might be the game of the week right here. Record wise, that is. The ABC Saturday night game of the week, the number 6 Tennessee Volunteers on the road against the number 15 Oklahoma Sooners. Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma. And a game of this magnitude, there's only one ABC ESPN crew who can call this game. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, and Tennessee opening up as a 7-point favorite. There's nothing left to say. MF, the third of our 3 main events. This justifiably could be the biggest of them all. With Oklahoma, their first game as a member of the SEC, going up against Tennessee. As the kids say nowadays, based on the body of work of both of these teams, this should be cinema.
This should be cinema. This is going to be lit. This is going to be a good one. High scoring affair. Get ready for it. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Look, Rocky Top's been looking good lately. Just a few years ago, a couple of years ago, we were thinking, is Tennessee really the real deal? When they knocked off Alabama on that last second field goal that caused that big stampede that cost them $500,000, and the goalpost getting thrown into the Tennessee River, cost them another $100,000 for that. Look, Tennessee has been one of those teams that has been good, but never took the next step. Now they're going up against basically one of the greatest Big 12 teams in Oklahoma and going into Norman into their house to fight. This is going to be very interesting to watch. Obviously, just like how I said about USC and making a great first impression on their new conference, Oklahoma is going to want to make a great first impression in the SEC. Now you're going up against Tennessee. Now, let's be realistic. They're no Alabama. They're not Georgia. But they are a good team. They are in the top 10. So you got that for going for Tennessee. But if they beat Tennessee, yes, it's a good win. But then everybody's like, yeah, you beat them. But when do you face Georgia or Bama? Because that will be the litmus test. That is the moment we'll find out, do you truly belong in the SEC? But I don't know. This is tough. I want to go Tennessee just because I think that they're the better team, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma wins this. So I'm going to go Tennessee, but I'm not 1,000% all in on it, Anthony, if that makes sense.
It complete sense, absolutely. And I checked Oklahoma. I just checked Oklahoma's schedule. It's 50-50 here. The bad news is they do not play Georgia. They don't run into Georgia. They do, however, run into Alabama. And that'll be on November 23rd. And that game is also in Norman. So, of course, they're going to end the season at LSU on top of that. And let's also not forget, in a few weeks, Red River is lurking.
Oh,
yeah, that's this program 3 weeks from tonight, October 10. And let me tell you, October 12th, that is going to be a main event Mafia day. I'll address that when we get closer to it.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma, MF mentioned it. They do not play Georgia. Oklahoma does, however, play Alabama, but they have the home field advantage. So that's huge for Oklahoma. So before I give you my thoughts, we do have a final from Thursday Night Football. To the surprise of none of us, the New York Jets defeated the New England Patriots 24-3 tonight. Jets improved to 2-1. Patriots dropped to 1-2. We'll have a recap of that game tomorrow night on NFL Friday. Now to my thoughts. I am concerned about an Oklahoma offense that mustered 4.4 yards of play in uninspiring wins over Houston and Tulane. While it's true Tennessee has played 2 easy opponents, the Vols absolutely dominated both games and also steamrolled NC State. In short, how you play is typically more important than who you play. I'm going with Tennessee to win this game as well. I believe it will be a close game going into the fourth quarter, but I think Tennessee will get a late touchdown and put it away. So Tennessee wins. My final score, 34-24, Tennessee over Oklahoma in what should be a very fun game on Saturday night. The other 7:30 kickoff, and look who's back in the top 25 at number 25, the Texas A&M Aggies back in the top 25. They're going to be at home. They're going to be at home at Kyle Field in College Station, and they're going to be welcoming the Falcons of Bowling Green to Kyle Field. And you can find this game over on the SEC Network. And on the call for that one, it will be Jay Alter and Rocky Boyman, and Texas A&M opening up as a 22.5 point favorite. So there isn't really much to say in this. In a surprise start, freshman quarterback Marcel Reed propelled Texas A&M to a comfortable win at Florida. Given his strong performance, the Aggies won't be rattled if their star quarterback Connor Weigman is out again this week. So I got A&M winning. I think they'll win this one comfortably. I will say 41-14, Texas A&M all over Bowling Green. Not much more to say. MF, A&M back in the top 25. Can they stay there?
A&M back in the top 25. Yes, they'll stay in there because they are going to win this game, and they're going to win this game convincingly. I think this is not a major threat. I don't see any scare. I think Bowling Green would possess. So yeah, A&M wins easy. Florio, go.
All right, we got 3 games left, and next up, the number 5, and we have a 7:45 kickoff. 7:45. By the way, that Bowling Green Texas A&M game, that's on SEC Plus. This next game is on the actual SEC network. With a 7:45 kickoff, the number 5, Ole Miss Rebels, once again at home at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. And they're going to be welcoming the Eagles of Georgia Southern. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kubelik will have the call. Ole Miss opening up as a 36.5 point favorite. MF, go.
I don't think there's really much for me to say here, guys. I honestly don't think there's much for me to say here. This one should be pretty easy to call. Ole Miss, Florio.
Ole Miss wraps up non-conference action with a chance for another lopsided win. Georgia Southern has already ceded 651 yards in a loss to Boise State and 498 more in a tight win at Nevada. Heading into week 4, Ole Miss is merely the nation's most productive offense, and that will continue on Saturday night. Ole Miss rolls 56-14. Ole Miss all over Georgia Southern. 2 games left. We move on to an 8 o'clock kickoff, and it features the number 1 team in all the land, the new number 1 team in all the land, Hook 'em Horns. It's the Texas Longhorns, and they will be at home at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, and they're going to be welcoming the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. And you can find this game over on ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus, Lowell Galindo, and Fozzie Whitaker on the call. Texas opening up as a 44.5-point favorite. Hook 'em Horns, baby. Hook 'em Horns. I cannot say it enough. Quinn Ewers will be the Texas Longhorns quarterback when he's healthy. But I'm looking forward to seeing Arch Manning as the starter for Texas. He is also an incredible talent. Manage the hype, but enjoy a preview of what's to come this season and in 2025 and beyond. Hook 'em Horns, Texas, all over Louisiana Monroe, 49-7. Nothing left to say. MF, Hook 'em Horns.
Yeah, Hook 'em Horns. I'm also believing the hype. I'm also believing everything that's been going on. So yeah, I'm with you on this one, Anthony. I totally agree as well, and I'm gonna say that the Longhorns are gonna win the game and win this one pretty comfortably. So yeah, it is all yours, my friend.
All right, we got one game left, and we're closing out with a pretty good one here. Another sleeper matchup here. And this will be a 10:30 kickoff over on ESPN. The number 13 Kansas State Wildcats. Oh boy, you want to talk about a trap game? They got to go to BYU. They're taking on the BYU Cougars at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, on ESPN rather. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, I believe Caleb Burton is their sideline reporter. Kansas State opening up as only a 6.5-point favorite. MF, as we close out this week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, we close it out with a massive, and I mean massive, trap game for K-State at BYU. Oh boy.
Yeah. You smell a trap. I smell a trap. Definitely could. It could. You never know. You gotta be careful with those traps because they can always catch you. But no, I'm in full complete honestly that I don't think they're gonna fall into the trap here. So I think K-State is gonna win this game. It's not gonna be easy though. I'm gonna openly admit that. But I do believe it will be a good game. Where I think that BYU is going to give them a whole bunch of fit going in, but I just feel like K-State is going to be just enough to win it. And I do believe it will be in that 7-point range. So I think it'll be like a 35-28. K-State holds on and takes down BYU. So Florio, it's yours.
Okay. Ranked team on the road against a solid defense. That is screaming trap game. I'll ignore what my head is saying, because I am a believer in Kansas State. However, and the Cats played so well in a rout of Arizona last Friday, and I will go with Kansas State. But would I be surprised if BYU posts the upset? I would not.
No.
But I think Kansas State is going to eke it out, as I say. 29-24, Kansas State survives a game and a very game BYU Cougar team. And with that, we put the bow on this Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night, 10:30, right, MF?
That is correct.
Okay. 10:30 tomorrow night, the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We will recap the Patriots and Jets game, and we'll also preview the Week 3 slate of the NFL action. Got some good games in here, and we'll get into all of that tomorrow night. Saturday night, also at 10:30, over on MF's channel, Raceway 95, the Cerebral Smack Talk. We will review Friday Night SmackDown. And MF and his Mikey's Mindset, he is going to have AEW Collision and maybe MLW. We'll have to wait and see on that. But that'll be on Saturday. And then Monday night, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw. Monday Night Raw, and the return of my traditional Tony's Take, TNA Impact and NXT Level Up. Major Bound for Glory developments. And I'm gonna tell you why on Monday. Wednesday, we have Wednesday Night Madness with MF over on Raceway 95. We got NXT, the final NXT on the USA Network before they make the big move to the CW the following week. And we've also got W Dynamite. And we will preview next week's Thursday Night Football matchup, the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants from MetLife Stadium. And then 1 week from tonight, the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And we got some good ones in here. We got a few good ones in here. How about Virginia Tech and Miami next week? Here's a sleeper matchup. How about Northern Illinois against NC State? Oklahoma State against Kansas State. Ooh, good one there. Illinois going up against Penn State. And some other good ones here. How about Wisconsin against USC? Oklahoma against Auburn. Louisville and Notre Dame. And we also have Ohio State against Michigan State. Oh, by the way, MF, we got the game of the next week. We're going to have the game of the year next week. SEC on ABC, Georgia and Alabama. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
number 2, Georgia at number 4, Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Bryant Denny. Chris and Herbie.
wow, that's early.
Chris and Herbie, game of the year, baby.
Wow, that is early in the season. Week 5?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, that would be in November. At least.
Maybe late October, early
November. Late October, early November. Yeah, this is somewhat early for this showdown to happen.
We're getting it. Next Saturday night, ABC.
Wow, man.
The game of the year. Not just the game of the week next week, but the game of the year to this point. Georgia and Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Woo! Batten down the hatches.
Chris and Herbie, baby.
Yep.
You know that screams Chris and Herbie. So, oh, man. That is going to be
something. Day will be there. McAfee will be there because he normally does the show beforehand. And especially if it's in Tuscaloosa, you know they're gonna bring they gotta bring him. He has to be there.
The stadium is named after him. It's now Nick Saban Field at Bryant Denny Stadium. So
yeah, so you gotta think Nick Saban will be there.
He's got to be. So, but nonetheless, like I said, some good matches, a few good ones here and there next week, but all eyes will be on Tuscaloosa next Saturday night. So
yeah,
Georgia and Bama batten down the hatches. So with that, that'll do it for this. So until tomorrow night for the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, it's Anthony Florio here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for week 3 of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and streaming.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.